Welcome back to the channel. We're taking a look today, this evening, the 18th of February. We're going to take a look at Monster Beverage. You might be familiar with the Monster Energy drink. This will be a daily chart. TradingView.com is the chart. It is MNST, Monster Beverage Corporation daily chart. Trades on the NASDAQ. Guys, let's jump into it. I want to talk about a couple things here on this chart. And then also taking a step backwards, a bigger perspective on this overall chart here. Keeping in mind that the NASDAQ, the S&Ps, the Russell, and probably the Dow, although I have not looked, but I would imagine they all kind of traded together on Friday. Decent early start to the futures on Friday morning, and then the markets faded pretty hard into the close. So markets are closed tomorrow, Monday, for a holiday. The futures markets are open. They should be open right now. It's actually 6:03 p.m. on the East Coast. So they'll be trading. They might stop early tomorrow. I'm not sure. But anyways, this stock will continue to trade on Tuesday, the 20th of February. Guys, Monster Energy, we have a couple things here, and then we also have a couple things in the reverse. Taking a step back, we'll talk about that in just a moment. So this chart here has a rough head and shoulders forming, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So basically a break of the neckline. So the neckline could be roughly right here, although it's not perfect. And then the price would start to move lower. So I have two targets below the market for Monster Energy here. We have one sitting there at 53.78. That would be our first target right there, 5378, 5378. So when I say target, so as markets, let's say markets trade lower for this example, when it gets to or right around 53.78, we should see some support, some buying show up for at least a period of time. That period of time can be short. That period of time can go on for many, many weeks. We just expect a reaction at that level and look for the price to get there when price is trending in that direction of the target, which is lower. 53.78, guys. The next target, so let's say we hit 53.78 for 2 days, find support, and then it flips and turns it into resistance, which can happen and will happen. You'll see that if you follow this channel. Below the market, 52.54, 52.54. Fifth target for Monster Energy. Now, we have a big gap from the 3rd to the 4th of November. From the 2nd to the 3rd of November, we have a big price gap, right? So we have the price gapping up and then trading in this head and shoulder, we'll call it. Well, we didn't quite close the gap on this day right here, which was the 6th of December. But keep in mind, my lower target, 52.54, would complete closing this gap down here. So it's interesting how my target, as well as this gap down here, is right around that 52.54 level for Monster. Now, if the NASDAQ is going to take a pause and top out, we could easily see this stock trade lower. Let's go back to that chart. We just lost that. Monster Energy. So keep that in mind. If the NASDAQ continues its rally, then the likelihood of this moving lower, is slim. Now, let's take a zoom out on the chart. And this is going to be a very super bullish scenario for much higher price targets for Monster. Now we have a much larger, longer period of time inverse head and shoulders here. And we're going to draw that right on the chart. So we have left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. And you would roughly have a, don't mind my straight line, a breakout zone. That should be a straight line, but it's not, up in that area. So it's the breakout zone would like roughly be up like $59, $60, give or take. So within a longer term bullish pattern, we have a shorter term bearish pattern. Now, we could get both. You could see both of these patterns play out. You could see the break lower initially down to, well, first it should stop at 53.78, and then to close the gap 52.54, and then you could see it reverse very, very strong and start to trade higher and actually break out to the upside. So it's just interesting, and I'm talking about this because I see both scenarios here. It's one, there's a potential short play happening right now, and then two, the longer term, I could see a big breakout higher. But I think first, it's looking a little bearish. So that is my thoughts on Monster Beverage Corporation, MNST. Keep your eyes on 53.78, 52.54. We have a gap below the market. I think it may get filled. Obviously, if the NASDAQ rallies, that's going to be much slimmer than if the NASDAQ continues to correct, or starts to correct, I should say. And then we could possibly see a big breakout higher. If you want some upper price targets for Monster, let me know down in the comments. Guys, thanks for watching. Once again, MNST, Monster Beverage Corporation, looks a little bearish right now, but the longer term view I think is quite bullish. Obviously, got to keep an eye on the NASDAQ. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Guys, I'll catch you in the next one.